Amber.
Hi, Megan.
Welcome to Bad Movies Rock.
Thank you, Megan. Megan, welcome to Bad Movies Rock, where sometimes we make good on our threats.
We do occasionally.
I made a promise. I made a promise to you and to whatever yahoos are still listening or accidentally listening. Hi,
Singapore. Yeah.
Singapore, you're now legally obligated to listen to this entire episode regardless of quality. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just, we have now entered into a binding contract.
Yep.
Welcome. We see you.
You said on the last podcast, maybe 2 podcasts ago, it's hard to tell with time and stuff, Amber, that there was a trilogy that you made up in your Amber brain back in the early aughts.
It was two ago because we had a wonderful Adrian interlude.
Of course.
It's far too brief. I mean, we had that whole Resident Evil catastrophe to go through. It's so hard to do just one with her now. She is the Pringles of people, only actually wonderful and not just the concept of pressed. They're not even chips. They're like
they're
pressed
crisps.
potato. Now I'm feeling bad about comparing her to that, but
Yeah,
it's,
I'm done that.
Really, I'm comparing her to their very effective slogan of the not stopping.
Right.
Once you pop an Adrian, and again, popping a person is upsetting.
Makes me feel all very uncomfortable.
And yet I'm continuing on
You're
with
just going to keep saying things. Yep.
Once I start digging, I can't stop it.
You gotta dig, farther down to get out.
Yeah, the only way out is through. With Amber's metaphors.
Side. Yeah.
You mentioned something about a trilogy. Yes, Megan, allow me to explain. In 2000 and into 2001, Jet Li was really starting to get some roles. Pop. Really?
I don't know.
Really?
I just came in to interject that, which is nothing.
It wasn't just an interjection. You full on derailed me. You put a moose on my train tracks, and the moose walked away.
I don't know. That's a great metaphor. I don't completely understand it, but I do love it.
Welcome to Amber's Inscrutable Metaphors. Any hoozles. Jet Li was really popping onto the U.S. cinema stage. Obviously, he had an amazing and storied career in China, but, we have to put him in our movies to really acknowledge him as a star. And so he'd gotten the role in Lethal Weapon 4 as, the bad guy. And now they were looking to him to, head up his own friggin' movie. The first one was actually Romeo Must Die. We'll get there. We're not doing them in chronological order. We're doing them in order of my least favorite to my most favorite of this trilogy. After Romeo Must Die was Kiss of the Dragon, which is my favorite, and then The One. We're starting with The One because it's my least favorite. So here we go. This is kind of my Jet Li starring man trilogy of the U.S. acknowledges his greatness.
Excellent. A very fine trilogy to start. I'm very excited about it.
Excellent.
Especially if this was the worst one, then...
Right?
Yeah.
And I say worst. It's my least favorite of the 3.
Sure.
And that's like such a negative way to put it in. It's the one, I still love it, but it's not the one I'm most excited to sit down and subject you to. So, Megan, I was, just to inspire you, I feel like, maybe we can explore how other media outlets describe this movie.
Okay. Please.
In order to kind of goose you, to give you to do better. I want you to one-up. Yeah, I want the ooh, I can do better than this moment.
Okay.
This is the butt pinch of motivation.
Excellent. I'm terrified.
So let's see. Amazon is one of my favorite places to go for descriptions because they're often shockingly terse and almost as inscrutable as some of my metaphors, or just so black and white that you're kind of wondering, do I need to fucking watch this movie? My favorite instance being the Resident Evil description of the sequel to Resident Evil 3D.
Yep.
Amazing, Amazon.
Yes. What else do you need to know?
So for The One, a cop must fight his evil double from a parallel universe in order to save himself and the world.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
We have IMDb. A rogue multiverse agent goes on a manhunt for alternate versions of himself, getting stronger with each kill. Only the last version of himself, an LASD cop, can stop his crusade before he becomes the one. Following Amazon's, there's a lot of flowery language in this one that sort of amplifies the message in a way that I don't know is necessarily accurate. Crusade? Maybe. Manhunt for alternate versions of himself? That's a bit strange. It's sort of like he's the bounty hunter and they're all criminals.
Right. And also we don't get to see most of that.
No, that's actually
that's
that
not
all
the
happens
story.
before the movie starts.
Right.
It's poor planning. It's poor execution. And then we have Metacritic. This supernatural action bonanza from director James Wong showcases martial arts expert Jet Li in a dual role as a police officer battling a sinister version of himself that has escaped from a parallel universe. So a lot of build-up in the director and the actor.
Sure.
And then sort of not a lot of description of the movie and also inaccurate.
Inaccurate, yeah. He did not escape. He's actually very purposefully there in order to murder the 124th version of himself.
I mean, he's traveling transdimensionally illegally, but it's I guess he does escape from imprisonment, but it's not it's misleading.
It is misleading. Yes.
Megan.
Yes, Amber.
I truly believe you can do better than this. I have set the bar low, admittedly.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean I don't believe in you.
Great. Okay. Well, Amber, this movie is, oh gosh, now I'm all kerfuffled, Amber. Oh boy.
I'm so helpful. You're welcome.
Well, this does follow Jet Li, who apparently was a multiverse authority ex-agent, which I didn't catch. Did you catch that?
Yeah, that's why he and Delroy Lindo had so much history. You know, he said he made passing statements of like, "Oh, it's like old times, isn't it?" He's like, "Oh man, not old times. You were there for the first one, and I wish I hadn't allowed the second one to happen." Yeah. There's a whole history there that we'll talk about this.
I guess I had assumed somehow that not that they worked together, but that somehow it was some other thing. I don't know. They knew each other from, I don't know.
Okay.
Their
so they were just taking
team.
A trans-dimensional vacation one time, and Jet Li murdered a version of himself.
He just happened upon his other self and was like, well, let's get this going.
It was self-defense the first time. And Delroy Lindo, and then, after their vacation, they're just like, they tried to forget it.
Yep.
Just go back to their lives. And that's nothing. That's not what happened. Yes, he was an MVA agent, a multiverse agency agent?
Authority.
A multiverse authority agent. Partnered with Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
And then he went dark side.
Yes, he did. Everyone knows, Amber, there's 125 versions of ourselves across the multiverse, which exists. There's a multiverse authority that kind of polices this any interdimensional travel that happens. And Jet Li is trying to eliminate every other multiverse dimensional Jet Li in order to obviously become unto a god named the One. And this is ultimately about, just kind of a failed ascension to godhood. He was so close, Amber. He got 123 of them. He murdered the Jet Li that was the surfer dude Jet Li. He murdered the dreadlock Jet Li. He murdered the long-haired Jet Li.
There was definitely a long-locked Jet Li. Yeah, no, they were all named Law, some version of Law.
Yes.
So U-Law is our former MVA guy on the quest to become the One. Mm-hmm. And he's gone off the deep end.
Yes.
Or as Megan said, this is a movie about failure. Essentially, this is a movie about coming in second place, about getting so close to your goals, tantalizingly so, only to have them ripped away.
Yeah, and as you murder your way to godhood, you absorb the energy of your other selves, making you more and more powerful as you go along. Which also it kind of indicates that, like, the longer you go on, I mean, it's like a video game. It gets harder and harder as you, like, kind of go up in levels, because your opponents are going to get also kind of absorbing this interdimensional energy.
You make an excellent point. This would make a solid video game.
Yeah, yeah. So we got that, and then we got Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham, who are the MVA agents who are gonna try to stop this from happening. And they do.
What do they?
Well,
who's the other character in this, Megan?
We've got the other Jet Li.
Exactly.
We've got Gabe Law.
We have 2 Jet Lis for your money, people.
Yeah, we've got we've got Yulaw and we've got Gabe Law, who is the one who's steadily and imagine being this guy who's like in the past few years has been getting like stronger and stronger for no reason that you know of. You've got almost Superman-like powers all of a sudden. And it's not just your body, Amber, your mind gets stronger.
Yeah. Everything gets better. You are becoming unto a god. This isn't just some Captain America shit. Your brain gets jacked too.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you got Jet Li versus Jet Li, and we've got to. And the interesting part is like you can't kill one of them. You need to either let both of them live or kill both of them, because either way, you've got the one. And apparently, it might not matter like if it's a good the one or a bad the one. It might just be that there is the one, and that might either cause godlikeness or the implosion of the universe. Nobody knows, Amber.
Yeah, they seem most concerned about potential universal implosion if you ever reduced a number of multiverse versions to a single entity.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the game. That's the whole game right there.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple universes. One guy is like, "Hey, I whoopsie murdered myself and I got real strong. I'm going to turn this into my thing."
I was on vacation. I met my other self.
He was a prick. I had to kill him.
What if it was an accident? What if it was like a, jaywalker and he accidentally, whoopsie murdered himself and then was like, "Oh, I feel good."
Wow, I feel really, wow. That crick in my neck is just gone, Yeah. I started to get like arthritis in this wrist and now I can bench press a car.
I can sleep really well. I got my murder snoozles in.
My apnea has cleared up. This is, let's kill a few more and see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
Just a couple more.
Mm-hmm.
The Pringles of murder.
You cannot stop, Amber. And everybody knows there's 125 Pringles in every tube of Pringles.
Exactly. It's multiverse Highlander rules. And it's wonderful.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Megan.
Amber.
How did the critics feel about this one?
Yeah, the critics did not care for this.
No. Metacritic 25 for the critics, 71 for the users.
Okay. For Rotten Tomatoes, it's 14 for the critics and 51 for the audience score.
Wowzers. All right.
Yeah, all right. It's worse than any of the worse. I'm putting words in quotes. It's worse than any of the Expendables.
Right?
Which just seems wrong.
Exist solely on nostalgia. We've talked about the word salad, plot salad of that franchise. Not that they are not pleasing and enjoyable in many ways, but damn.
Yeah. Mostly the way the Expendables are the best when Jet Li is actually in the Expendables, which
very
is
accurate, yes.
Yeah.
Or Antonio Banderas. True. There it is.
Sorry, it's temper tantrum Antonio Banderas in my head.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. It makes me smile
really
whenever I think of it.
Stomp. He's really good at killing Amber.
So good at killing. It's the one thing he knows how to do. Why won't anyone let him kill people?
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
So scoring aside and clear criticism aside, I did enjoy Maitland McDonough. We see Maitland McDonough a lot from the TV Guide. Pseudoscience gobbledygook aside, X-Files alumni James Wong and Glenn Morgan's script is little more than an excuse for Jet Li to kick his own ass, which he does energetically and often. I don't know how that scored at 30. That seems to capture the essence of the movie fairly well. It is an excuse for Jet Li to kick his own ass. Right. And he does it energetically and often.
Yes.
Sorry, I was just imagining it in my head and I had a little mini stroke because my brain couldn't do both things at the same time.
Uh-huh.
And it's great.
Yes.
Jet Li does martial arts things. Gets his own movie to do them in. Also, you have Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham.
Right.
A young Jason Statham with hair.
It's disconcerting, to say the least.
Yeah, nobody really liked this. No plot. Other movies do it better. Crappy Matrix ripoff, bullet dodging. bad effects. It's like a video game, forgettable. I feel like, again, this is one of those moments where they could have felt some joy.
Yeah.
But they chose not to. And they saved it all for later when the Expendables came out?
Amber, this is called twaddle of the highest order that makes you wish you had a wormhole of your own to escape into.
Twaddle.
Twaddle.
And considering what they make wormhole travel look like in this movie, that is a rough thing to say.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, but that, listener, you don't understand how damning that statement is coming from this person.
Yeah.
The Miami Herald's Charles Savage is saying that having an actor play both the hero and the villain, the viewer knows that what they're being shown isn't an authentic dance, which is accurate. I mean, Jet Li isn't actively fighting himself.
Sure.
But you still get to see Jet Li fight a very talented stunt actor.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So why are we mad at that? I mean, movies in general are always a suspension of disbelief.
Did you know, Amber, that this was filmed with that poor stunt actor wearing a green
face?
Yep. Yeah, so that they could map Jet Li's face onto him, which is just, so wearing this like green mask over his head just made it all that more difficult for this poor stunt man, who's very good, who has to fight Jet Li. But guess what? You also have to do it with like a ski mask on.
I feel like they painted it green, but I could be wrong.
I haven't seen pictures of it, so I don't know exactly, but yeah.
I don't, and this is remembered from, the one DVD extra commentary. I think it doesn't matter. He had a green face, so they could replace it with Jet Li's. The age of CGI.
Oh boy.
We can literally take your face off.
Off, yeah. They do it okay. It's okay.
Yeah, come on, critics. Find the joy. Find the love. Find your soul.
Yeah.
This was before they understood that Jet Li was someone to just adore.
Right. Although this is the third one in the trilogy, right? So they should have had somewhat of an idea.
Yeah, I really don't understand. I mean, I think they're more mad at James Wong, and he was the director, but he also co-wrote it with Glenn Morgan. And it's not good. The story is not good.
The idea is fun.
Sure.
The actual story of it, not so much.
Yeah. I mean, they basically had an idea, and then it, decided we'll figure it out. Like, we have a cool concept, multiverse, Jet Li fights himself. And we'll get the details later.
We'll get them.
And then later sort of came, and they were like, we still don't have it, we got to do something. And it sort of just like pulled an all-nighter and wrote this out.
And then this came out, yeah.
It's fine. But it's wonderful to watch Jet Li do some shit, which, again, we compare it to The Expendables because, well, one, Jason Statham and Jet Li are both in it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it survives just on the goodwill of their careers prior to it.
Right. Yes.
Where is that goodwill, critics?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
It's not in these reviews, I'll tell you that much.
Ooh, fun fact, Megan, and this may or may not be true. The Rock was actually potentially affiliated with this.
Yeah, it was going to be starring The Rock instead.
Instead, he decided to be a CGI scorpion monster in The Mummy Returns.
Oh, boy.
It led to his own movie.
Good for him.
His first own movie. Oh, one more thing, and then I'll move past this. Yeah, Los Angeles Times. Jan Stewart. Lee's far too unthreatening a presence to cause much of a stir amid the din of hard rock music and the pall left by fight choreography that has had every last bit of life digitally drained away. So not only does this person rag on the fight choreography, was sure they used some effects, but it wasn't all effects. When you have Jet Li's doing some shit, and they had amazing stunt actors working with him. And then he's not threatening. Jet Li is not threatening.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement to come out of anybody's mouth.
What is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. Just because he has the sweetest face and the nicest smile does not mean that man weapon is not fucking threatening.
Yes.
Have you seen him do shit?
He's a human weapon. And that is actually literal. I'm not talking about the One or Yu-La or Gabe. I'm talking about Jet Li. Like, Jet Li personally. can actually do that shit.
Yes. He does those things. What the balls? Unthreatening.
I feel like that has some racist undertones to it.
I feel like that's my knee-jerk reaction. I'm trying not to ascribe that assumption to it. But it does smack a little bit of, here is this Eastern Asian man. He's so non-threatening.
Right.
May not be the case. I'm hoping it's not the case. But it does. There are so many unlikely, like, white dudes who are put in these roles. And I feel like we never hear anybody questioning how threatening they can seem as, like, bad guys or, like, dangerous good guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, does anybody say that, like, Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris are non-threatening? Because when I look at them, I don't see a threatening man. I see an old white guy.
Mm-hmm. And so long as we're here, the movie itself, just dips its toe into a little bit of homophobia. They just want to make sure to get just a few homophobic, transphobic barbs in there before, they're not by the main characters mostly, but there's just a random conversation by the coroners that just is terrible.
So they're just having this conversation about porn that ends in one of them using the term she-male.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Why?
Don't do that.
It was played for laughs. The entire point was that it was supposed to be kind of like an aside, chuckle, unnecessary, silly moment.
Right.
No, thank you.
No, that's a terrible term. We don't say that. I just don't know why you had to leave that shit in. Comic relief. I think you're absolutely right. It was considered comic relief moment.
It was a comic relief moment that used just... don't fucking say that. And don't leave it in your movie. There was no reason to do that. They could have silently moved the body. He could have jumped out and scared them. It would have been fine. Or there were other ways to make it funny. But instead, that's what you do. Neat. Cute. Awesome.
Yep. And Carla Gugino's in this movie, Amber.
She is indeed.
I believe she's the only woman in this movie with speaking lines. Is that correct?
Not entirely true. There is also the MRI nurse.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't have a big role, but I remember her because I did find her delightful. Played by Harriet Sansom Harris.
Yep. Yeah.
I really like her. I'm trying to think of what she's in. I like her voice. I like her style. She's just lovely. But yes, Carla Gugino is really the main woman in this. She plays two roles, both Eulaw and Gabe Law's love interest. Oh, technically 3 roles.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy. Yep.
She gets to wear 3 different wigs.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we bringing that up just to mention that she was the only woman?
Oh, yeah. Just the kind of representation of women is also fairly, low.
In an action movie, yeah.
Yeah.
And the way that she is used is very typical of, we have one woman in this. Either she's like so devoted to the bad guy that she's willing to do anything for him, even if it, destroys her. And then as a tragic symbol to be used to inspire the hero to do, I believe they call it fridging. Right. And then it's sort of a prize for good behavior.
Right. Yeah. So it's all 3 of those. 3 tropes all together in one movie, played by one actress in 3 different roles.
They were very thorough with their tropes.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't really think of anything that's too glaringly.
Yeah.
Critics Corner. Usual. We don't care what you have to say.
Yeah. Nah. So Amber, after this movie starts with kind of a very long explanation of the multiverse system, we go to
it's both too long and not long enough.
Yeah. There's some really interesting things about this that I have questions about.
For me, it tells you there are multiverses. It tells you there's a version of you in all of them. It tells you that there's travel between them is possible, but it's restricted, and that a balance is maintained, and that balance seems to rely on all the versions of yourself being alive, or most of them being alive at the same time. Like, it's because the balance is disturbed by Eulaw's actions.
Right.
So the question I always endlessly have is that, so say one of you dies, and presumably either there are 125 multiverses or only 125 multiverses had a version of Jet Li. Ignoring that question, everything happens differently in the multiverses. So obviously there's some people die sooner than other people die. So does that mean like everybody's just sort of getting jacked up gradually, and that, you know, you hit 89 and suddenly grandma's lifting cars and you're just like, geez, grandma, what the hell?
I mean, I think just not enough grandmas try to lift cars. I think that's, you just assume you can't when you're 89. And maybe, hey, get out there and try to lift a car, everybody. See if your multiverse selves are dead or not. The only reason you can't lift a car right now is because your multiverse selves are still alive.
Why are they holding me back? Other Ambers.
Yeah, although you have been getting stronger lately, Amber. I think your multiverse Ambers are whittling down.
Which makes me think that one of the Ambers is starting to kill the other Ambers. So either they're finally not holding me back, or someone is about to come for me.
It could be. Yeah, if you see yourself, Amber, you run.
No, I kill her.
Okay,
I take what's mine.
Take the power, Amber.
I take what's mine. Mm-hmm. The reason there are so few multiverses, presumably, is because they're not created when, you know, two divergent choices are made. You know, you flip a coin, you make a multiverse. It's not that kind of silly, stupid sci-fi nonsense.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, we're told, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through the movie by Jason Statham's character that, you know how there are stars and some of them go supernova and they make black holes? That's when you get a new universe, which creates a wormhole, which you can then travel through between the universes. So it's black holes, wormholes, multiverse.
Yes.
And versions of yourself and super abilities.
Makes perfect sense.
Do you have to be there when they die to get the big bump? Is that the issue? Is that... So, like, if you're in your multiverse and somebody dies, you only get, like, a small bump, and that's why Jet Li's character isn't quite as strong, or why Gabe Law isn't quite as strong as Eulaw?
Yeah. I do think there must be something about, like, the actual act of the murdering your other self that you must be able to steal a little bit more power.
I mean, he talks about it in terms of, like, energy. When he makes his... At the beginning of the movie, we see Eulaw murder a version of himself who's a prisoner. He's being packed up for transport. Kills him, kills a bunch of cops, or severely injures a bunch of cops. Jason Statham and Delroy Lindo are there to track him and bring him back to the MVA, which they accomplish. And then he's put in this chair to be sent to the Stygian penal colony in the Hades multiverse.
Yes.
They have cute names for all of these.
They do.
And so he's allowed to say some last words before he's sent off, because of course they can't kill him, because if they kill him, they'll make a the one, and you don't want that.
Right.
And Jason Statham keeps wanting to kill him, and Delroy Lindo's like, it's not procedure. And Jason Statham hates procedure. He's very mad at procedure for most of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Eulaw makes this speech about how, like, hey, guys, I'm just trying to bring order to all of this chaos. There's so many universes, so much energy distributed across multiple bodies. That's insane. I'm just trying to make things neat. Put all that energy in one container.
Yep.
It's a decent bad guy speech. It's fine.
Yeah.
But, so that makes me think, okay, so when you murder one of your U's, Highlander style, bunch of energy comes out of them. And if you're standing in the same multiverse, like most of it comes into you. But if you're not in the same multiverse, it probably just kind of gets like lost to chaos, and like a little bit settles in you because like it recognizes you through you resonance. I've decided. And so like, it's, yeah. So like if you are dying in different universes and yourself isn't there to like suck up that good you sauce, yum, yum, yum.
Slurpy, slurpy.
Then you're fine.
Yeah. Okay. I you know, Amber, it's as good of an explanation as anything.
This movie makes no sense.
So they've captured Eulaw, and they're about to send him to the Stygian penal colony in the Hades universe. But guess what, Amber? Right after he gives his speech, we've got Carla Gugino. This universe's Carla Gugino is allowed for some reason to come watch this happen. And she's brought with her in her high heel a rat with ginormous testicles.
Just very impressive rat testicles, yes.
That has, it seems like an antenna shoved up its butt.
Does seem to be coming out of its anus, yeah.
Sorry, rat. And then extra sorry, rat, because it's actually what it is really filled with explosion so that it sets off a distraction and explodes some shit so that Yula can now get away.
And they use a lot of metal, like new metal, from the late 90s, early 2000s. So you get let the bodies hit the floor in the first fight scene where Yula's killing himself and taking out all the cops. And then when the rat explodes, like at the same time, you get that, wah!
Yep.
The down with the sickness. I can't remember if that's Papa Roach or is it Drowning Pool that does the bodies hit the floor?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was a 90s kid. I do know all of these songs. I don't necessarily remember who sings them. But there's a lot of that music associated with, specifically with Yula's antics, is set to a metal soundtrack.
Yes, absolutely. Yula is able to, instead of getting transported to the Stygian penal colony in Hades universe, he gets to go to the Earth universe.
Why
which
do you keep calling it the Earth universe?
They never gave it a name, did they?
They're all Earth. It has a cute different name.
It actually does say the Charis universe on Wikipedia. I don't remember them saying that in the movie, but anyway.
Yeah, they all get mythological names. There's an Anubis and
Yeah. Amber, how does teleportation work? How does that feel?
It is horrifying. It is horrifying. And they never talk about it. No. The first time you see them travel via wormhole, it's when Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham manage to capture Yula by running him over with a car. And so, the wormhole activates, and all of a sudden, all three of them are shrieking and just, shaking their heads from side to side, and then their bodies are just, disassembled and sucked up into this, white tunnel of light.
Yeah.
The entire time, screaming in agony. And then, okay, well, maybe it's fine once they get there. As soon as they're reassembled. When they arrive at the MVA, they are just on the floor, twitching, writhing, and unable to
gasping
communicate.
For breath. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And people are scanning them on the ground, just this is normal. They're fine. It's the worst pain you'll ever feel in your life, but it doesn't do any damage. So
you have been just taken apart atom by atom and then put back together.
And felt every second of it.
Felt all of it. So
it's upsetting to watch. It happens every time, and no one comments
on it. It's amazing that nobody ever talks about this.
It kind of makes it awesome.
It's great. Yeah, I know.
It haunts me.
Yeah. I mean, it if you're being pulled through, it seems like that would hurt. It seemed like being atomized through a wormhole seems about right for going through a wormhole. And it would hurt. It would hurt like hell. So,
but we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to.
This is how it goes, Amber.
It's just what it is. Everybody knows this.
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna interdimensional travel, you gotta break a few atoms.
Other than the amazing mythology and universe that they've created, which I feel like we've explained perfectly, black holes. Stars, a certain number of universes, you can travel between them. Some universes aren't aware of multiverse travel. They have not developed multiverse travel or aware of the multiverses. Not that really matters in any real way.
Yula will still come and murder the Yula of that universe.
Yeah, it was more just, I think it was a way of explaining why, we in Earth universe, Megan, don't know about this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, there's really not much more you need to know. Gabe Law is a cop. They create kind of a parallel scene to the opening one where, Jet Li is the prisoner that's murdered. And this one, Jet Li is a cop.
Dun, dun, dun.
Transporting a prisoner
right.
when Yula shows up to murder him. In the same way, he's a one-trick pony, is Yula.
Yeah.
Hides in the vents and just shoots.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the movie continues because Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham are there to slow him down but not catch him. So you get to spend some time with Gabe, and he seems to have a very nice relationship with Carla Gugino. She's a vet.
Yep.
They had an adorable meet cute with a dog that they still have. Jet Li brought in an injured dog to her vet clinic, and it was just marriage from there.
Yep. What did he say? Not exactly this, but she completed him. Like, just she filled an empty space in his heart.
Yeah, he's something about his father always said that, your life is like a circle, and but there's always a hole in the middle that is filled by one person.
Yep.
And they even have like 2 necklaces that like snap into each other. Hers is the center of his necklace.
That's very sweet.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all during this, we also have Delroy Lindo and Jason Statham need to catch up because they weren't able to go through the first wormhole, so they have to go to another wormhole to get to the Earth universe, and they end up kind of just getting so. They kind of give up on being able to catch Yula, and
so
they
fast.
Yeah, and they decide what they need to do is they need to simultaneously murder both of the Jetlis. So Delroy Lindo has a mini bomb that also has lights on it, and Jason Statham has a watch that corresponds to this. And so essentially Delroy says, I'm going to murder Yula with this. When your corresponding watch turns red, that means I'm dead, but so is Yula. So that's the exact point when you need to murk Gabe Law.
Excellent plan. Because we're throwing procedure at the window now. We're done with procedure. And so they split up. Delroy goes after Yula. Statham goes after Gabe Law. And so before they split up, you get this sort of tantalizing peek at Jason Statham's character's backstory.
Yeah.
Because he's been, very anti-procedure, I want to murder him the whole time. And Delroy Lindo's like, nah, you can't do that. That's not procedure, baby. And in this conversation before they split up, you, learn that Jason Statham's character is like, hey, man, let me do the bomb. I've survived one of them before.
Yeah.
For no reason. I don't know why we brought that up. And 2, and then Delroy Lindo's like, I know where you came from. I know what you've seen and what you've been through. And I know it puts you in a certain mindset. Like your instincts are, aggressive. But man, don't think with your head on this one. Think with your heart. So we don't learn any. No. We don't. He was a soldier in some sort of multiverse war. We don't know. We don't know what he was before he was partnered with Delroy Lindo. But we're told he was somewhere else, and gosh darn it was hard, and it's led his instincts to be hard too. And then he tells him not to think with his head, but think with his heart. And to my mind, your instincts are gut, right?
Right.
Your brain overrides gut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Delroy Lindo tells him to shut off his brain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sends him off to murder Gabe Law.
Which seems like at the time what's happening. So we get this scene of Delroy Lindo fighting Yula, and it just like Yula's like punching Delroy Lindo through his coat.
Oh, that was great.
Through a van door, like he's just
you haven't captured the beauty of that moment.
I'm sorry, you're right.
I mean, he is beating the ever-loving snot out of him because he is one step away from being Superman.
Right.
Like he can run 50 miles an hour. He can punch through solid metal. He can pretty much do anything. I mean, his lesser doppelganger Gabe Law can just casually bend a gun in half. So it's actually fairly solid fight mechanics when it's not CGI weirdness. He manages to grab both of the sleeves of Delroy Lindo's leather duster and then just front kicks him through his coat.
Yes.
So that he's left holding in each hand half of the coat by the sleeves, and Delroy Lindo is launched through it into the back of an ambulance.
I think being punched through your coat, I think I was perfectly clear on exactly what that meant.
I just had to describe this amazing
you're
visual.
Totally right.
Using this auditory medium.
Yeah, punching through a coat means nothing until you've seen that.
It was lovely. It was a lovely... I haven't seen that before, but it definitely demonstrates you are a toy compared to me.
Yep.
It's a normie fighting an Avenger.
Right. Yeah.
But for some reason, the fight lasts longer than 0.2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. You've got that going on, and then you have Jason Statham talking to Jet Li, the Gabe Law version, and they're just having kind of a nice conversation, like, you know, and all, I don't know, it's just one of these kind of like feeling of like, oh, they're just kind of having a conversation about what's going on, and Gabe Law is obviously like just wants this to stop, and he wants to go home, but Jason Statham just keeps looking at his watch to see if he's got a red light, which means he's just gonna straight up murk this guy he's talking to,
and then he decides not to.
It's
like, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna help you. And Gabe Law's like, I don't want your help. Yu-La has shown up to murder him in a hospital. He murders a bunch of other people. And because he looks exactly like Gabe Law, all of Gabe's cop buddies think he did it. So now there's a manhunt for him. His life is in shambles. It's not great. And he's trying to pick up the pieces. He doesn't want Jason Statham's help. He just wants to go home to his wife. And I guess survive Yu-La and then figure it out from there?
Yeah. He doesn't much have a plan. And it's unclear if like it's because he doesn't believe him. Although
that does not seem to be the problem.
But
Yeah.
It is a good thing that Jason Statham holds off on shooting Gabe Law because the handheld bomb that Delroy Lindo has does not actually kill Yu-La as hoped.
Doesn't even kill Delroy Lindo. Yu-La kills Delroy Lindo, and then the bomb goes off.
Yeah, good point. Yes. Yeah, they almost got Jason Statham to do his dirty work for him. Yu-La did. Yeah. But Jason Statham goes with his heart, Ember.
Yeah, and his heart says, help Gabe. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, why not?
Gabe's not into it until Yu-La shows up at his house and murders his wife.
Super does.
Just in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets chased away from there by all of his cop friends. And that's it. It. He doesn't care anymore. He's like, you can kill me, but first I'm going to kill him. And as soon as he's dead, then you can take me out because I don't care anymore.
And you need Gabe Law to catch a Yu-La, Ember. You need Jet Li to catch Jet Li.
I mean, he kicked Delroy Lindo through his own coat. Yeah, you need another superpowered guy.
What was it that it was? Was it in Hobbs and Shaw? Something about you need wolves to catch the bear or something? I
thought it was wolves to catch wolves.
Maybe it's just wolves to catch wolves, yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Need wolves to hunt wolves. It was one of the Fast and Furious ones. It doesn't matter. It's amazing pure nonsense, and that's kind of what we're working with here. You need a law to catch a law.
Yep.
Or at least beat him into submission.
Right.
And we've had some decent fights. Like, it's Jet Li, even with the CGI nonsense and the Matrix-style bullet dodging, is still just a force to be reckoned with. Fun to watch. There's this in the hospital scene. He's supposed to get an MRI and, hilarity ensues. And in order to not harm his cop buddies who are like, we're going to arrest you now. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. There's a handcuff fisticuff scene where he cuffs, maybe 4 of them to each other in the same wheelchair with just...
in some sort of twister, like...
Amazing. Just amazing.
Configuration. Yeah, it's great.
And, watching Yu-La manhandle Delroy Lindo is delightful. Watching him bludgeon cops to death with their own motorcycles.
Yes, there was, just picking them up handedly and just terrible things with them, yeah.
It's not choreography, but it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the final fight between Yu-La and Gabe Law was great.
Yep, it's in the Gears and Sparks factory, which is where the next wormhole is going to come.
It was Gears and Sparks, and also mystery green liquid.
You're right. It did have some sort of noxious green liquid stuff.
Which
flammable.
It wound up being flammable. I thought it was going to be acidic, but it turns out it was just flammable, which seemed redundant since a bomb went off anyway.
Yeah.
That was a great fight.
It was, yeah. And this is the aforementioned fight where, especially in this one, is where they had a stunt person wearing a green screen paint or mask to, fight Jet Li.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty great.
Excellent fight. Highly recommend it. And
right before the fight, Yulaw removed. They end up wearing the same exact thing. Of course they do, for reasons that only can be said. Was to make it sure that we know who's who in the fight. Takes off the top of his jumpsuit.
Yeah, so we know the bad one is the gray shirt guy, and the good one is the full jumpsuit guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Gabe beats Yulaw into submission, but not before the top of his jumpsuit gets set on fire and he has to take it off. And then the wormhole comes and sucks them both up. Agonizing.
Yes.
So they're on the floor writhing in the MVA. We've got two Jet Lis and a Jason Statham. And the one Jet Li is like, it's him. That's Yulaw.
Right.
And so they totally take his word for it.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And drag him into the chair and immediately set about sending him to the Stygian penal colony on the Hades universe. Mm-hmm. But as Jason Statham is writhing on the ground, he realizes, oh, that guy has a wedding ring, tan line on his finger. That's the wrong one. And then they just switch them.
Yeah, they just switch them.
It wasn't that dramatic.
No, it wasn't that exciting. Yeah, no. So they send Yulaw away. Finally, they've done it, Amber. So now what are they going to do with Gabe Law? Well, they have to send him back to the Earth universe, Amber. There's nothing to do. He's going to have to. He's going to have to face the music for shit he didn't do.
And Jason Statham is not on board with this. No. He's not. He's like, that's bullshit. And they're like, Megan, what do they say it is?
It's procedure, Amber.
Oh, it's procedure. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I guess we have to send him back. And Gabe doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care anymore.
He's done.
His center is gone. Nothing means anything. He's going back to... I'm calling it Bush universe because in the very first scene, in the first, Yulaw murder scene, they pass a television and it shows President Gore is addressing Congress. And then in Gabe's universe, we see a similar scene, but it's Bush addressing Congress about universal health care. So it's actually still not our universe.
Still not our universe, yeah.
But it is the sadder version. Could you imagine Gore?
Oh, Amber.
Sorry, I don't want to do this to myself. Yeah. We've already lived through Trump. Bush was nothing. Bush was a fucking delight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fuck me. Moving on. Mm-hmm. So we know that it's not going to be a good situation for him. Cops are after him. There's no way to clear his name, and his wife is dead. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a fuck.
But he's like, send me back. I don't fucking care.
Although if they send him back and he gets executed for
then
the murders, all of the murders,
there's a lot of murders. It's a lot of.
But they, MVA authority head man says, don't worry, he'll be taken care of and watched over, just like the others.
What does that mean?
What is happening?
What are you talking about?
What is any of this?
Like, there's something there. It's like, has this happened before? Are there times that they've gotten down to 2 or 3 different multiverse people, and they just have to babysit these folks until they all die at the same time? Yeah, it's indicating that there's something bigger in the background that we never get to hear about.
Yeah, you were given the fun, terrible storytelling thing this movie does, but that is somehow endearing, is that Jason Statham had this backstory. We're not going to talk about it. The MVA has this whole thing that it does. We're not going to talk about it either. And oh, hey, there's this penal colony. Well, what does that even mean? And we're going to see it, and I love it, but we're not going to explain any of this stuff.
No,
we're just there's a lot going on. You don't need to know, viewer.
You don't need to know. Yeah.
But what is important is that Statham is like, well, get away from here, wormhole tech. I know how to do this. It's procedure.
Which is just and they let him. They just are like, I guess so.
He's had a hard day.
We've worked so hard to get this one guy. Fuck it. Yeah, he can go wherever he wants. This other guy can go whatever he wants.
But hey, it's procedure, Megan, is what he says as he takes the controls. And he sends Gabe Law back to his universe?
I guess so. Is that how he knew?
It's so strange because when he arrives, there's all these electric cars and signs proclaiming Los Angeles to be the cleanest city in the U.S. But his arrival in the middle of traffic prompts some cars to veer off and hit this dog that looks just like Ollie.
Oh,
looks just like his dog. And
in the Earth universe, yeah.
Oh, you're killing me, Megan. And then he picks him up and he looks around and there's a vet clinic right across the street and he walks in and Megan,
It's
It's Carla Gugino.
In a new wig?
With a third wig. That's how you know that it's a different multiverse version. Like you see, Megan talked about this, like Surfer Jet Li, Dreadlock Jet Li. They just all wear different wigs.
Yeah, it's just different wigs, man.
And they do different poses, and it's kind of charming. And Megan, she's into him.
Yes, she is, Amber. And don't worry. Apparently Gabe is just fine with this shit. Like, it might not be my Carla Gugino, but guess what? She looks like her, so I'm healed.
That does not seem like a recipe for a happy ending. This is a different human being. If we've learned anything from watching this movie, is that your multiverse versions of you are not the same as you.
No, they're not. Like, one could be on a murderous spree to kill all of yous. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And they both practice 2 different forms of kung fu.
Yeah, exactly. Which is fun. That's
actually fun. Yeah,
a good.
That is a neat character decision, because like the Yulaw practices one that's like all about very direct linear hits, and Gabe Law, it's more of an open-handed circular technique.
Yep, which is
know,
great. Yes.
It just goes to show you how different these humans are. So yeah, she looks the same. Yes, she's also a vet. Mm-hmm. Yes, there's an injured dog here, but she's not the same.
She's not your
woman.
She's not your Carla Gugino.
You've lived this whole life with this person and lost them, and now you're just going to replace her with a thing that looks like her?
Yeah.
This is some Job shit. Yeah. This is God has taken everything from you, but it's cool. He gave you a new one, so we're cool, right? We're square.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If I had to choose, and I do, which of the 2 Jet Lis gets the better end of the stick, I would say it's Yulaw.
Oh, yeah? Why is that, Amber?
Because, Megan.
Amber.
We get to see the Stygian penal colony in the Hades universe.
In the Hades universe?
In the Hades universe.
I'm so excited. What happens?
Megan, it's amazing.
Yep. Yulaw shows up, and there's just, like, tough guys all around. It's all guys. They're all
filthy, large.
It's all
men.
gray. Like the whole picture of everything is just almost a monotone gray Hades universe.
It's just rock and dark and filthy. I feel like there's just I don't know if it was actually true, but just like flashes of lightning constantly.
Yeah,
no like, sun.
It feels like there's grit or ash in the air.
Inexplicably, there's like a small pyramidal shaped dais.
Yeah.
With like stairs leading up to it.
A ziggurat.
It is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a ziggurat. Yep. He's dropped right in front of a ziggurat.
Yes.
And immediately. Because they're like, oh, look, fresh fish for some reason.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that maybe fish is a prison thing. I don't know. And he stands up and he's like, I am nobody's bitch.
Yep.
I don't need to know you. You need to know me. He is the actual line. As he walks up the steps of this ziggurat, he is just yelling this with supreme confidence.
Yes.
I don't need to know you. You need to know me. I am the one. I am going to rule this. Like, he immediately establishes dominance and then climbs to the top of the ziggurat and just starts beating motherfuckers up.
Just beating everybody up.
And the camera pans out and you just see so many more people just like swarming up the ziggurat.
It is much like AVP with the aliens all swarming up the ziggurat to get the predator at the top.
But in this version, the predators have that shit on lock.
Yeah, he does.
He's in his version of heaven. He's going to get to rule the Stygian penal colony on Hades, and he gets to use his superior strength and brain to establish dominance and rule. That's going to be his shit. He's going to make the entire Stygian penal colony on the Hades universe his bitch, for lack of a better word. It's the word they use.
Yeah. We also do see, like, there all are, like, walls and guards, but the guards, they're not doing shit about this. This just seems like...
Why are there guards there?
Why just stay in here? We don't care what the fuck you do in here, but stay in, I guess.
I don't
know, Amber.
But if he dies, you get a the one situation.
Yes, you still get a the one situation. He's got to live.
It's very confusing because like a hovercraft comes over and just sort of watches what's happening. If they do manage to kill him, your crisis has not been averted. This actually doesn't seem like a solid solution to the problem.
No, he should be kept like in, I don't know, some sort of stasis or something.
Oh yeah, freeze him.
Yeah.
Just package him in a nice pillow with his little face peeking out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
it's
know.
Great.
But it's great.
You know what? Whatever the fuck. I would trade anything for that. The universe can implode because I've now seen that scene, Ember.
I loved that scene so much. It made me think of sort of Chronicles of Riddick when he goes to that, Supermax where you never see light again. I'd watch that movie. I would watch Jet Li dominates the Stygian penal colony in the Hades universe movie.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. So, Amber, what would you call this movie on the rock scale? Rate it, more like. Regrettable, outstanding, Crazeballs, or K?
This is a Crazeballs K. Could have been better. Could have done more with the story, or less, honestly. Do less with the story so that you have fewer holes.
Yeah.
There could have been more, like, Jet Li choreography, but I think it was fine. There were some playful moments, but a lot of them kind of fell flat and weren't well used. And, I'd say Crazeballs K.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I do feel like while I enjoyed their hinting to, like, a much more fleshed out and interesting backstory behind everyone, that part I kind of enjoyed, but yeah,
It felt like they were just fucking with us.
It did feel a little bit like they were fucking with us.
Oh, Jason Statham, your backstory is so interesting and torturing.
Interesting.
Moving on.
Anyway.
Delroy Lindo, you used to be partners with Jet Li.
Yeah.
How was that? Oh, we're moving on. Okay, you're just going to kill each other. Okay, moving on.
Sure.
The MVA has done this before. What? Wait, they have? Wait, what's the penal colony? And wait, you're going to watch him? How does that work? And how do MVA agents work? And why do you have MVA agents? What do they do?
Like, what's their daily... Yeah.
What's your ordinary multiverse crime? Because you're saying that one guy committing serial murder on himself is new. So what do multiverse criminals usually do that you have to then enforce it? Because honestly, from the looks on your faces and the sounds coming out of your mouths, travel through multiverses is not something somebody would do casually.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Atomized.
Indeed. Megan.
Amber.
Do you have an Abby story?
I have a Maddie story. Maddie is very adorable when she's going to bed. Beforehand, she goes around and gives everybody good night kisses, and so she runs around and she says, "Kiss, mommy, kiss, mommy, kiss." And she runs up to her mom and gives her a kiss, and then she says, Mimi kiss, and she runs up to me and gives me a kiss, and then she goes to bed. It's just this little, like, 1.5-year-old just, running at you.
Ecstatically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Almost excited about bedtime because it's kiss time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's adorable.
Some good psychological attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't bed exciting because you get to give kisses?
She is like really quick about bedtime. It's great. It's fantastic.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Who knows if it'll stay this way, but yeah. It's like a short story and I'm out. Like half the time she's like pointing at the crib and like, let me get in there. Like, all right. Bye, I guess.
Good night.
Yep. Amber, do you have a recommendation?
I recommend you watch Romeo Must Die with me.
Okay. Well, yes, that's the plan.
Oh, good. Well, then I'm good. I'm done.
Great. Excellent.
I also recommend dried mulberries.
Ooh, excellent.
They're I've never had them before. I've tried them for the first time. Very tasty.
Where'd you get those from?
Just Amazon.
Okay. Nice.
Sticking around on nuts.com and Amazon.
Yeah.
Buying dried fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the thing I did.
Yeah. Chewy, you say?
Oh, did I say chewy? Yes. Mm-hmm. I ordered them from the dog food company.
No, I think the flavor and texture.
Yes, they're chewy. They're sort of like raisins, but with crunch, because they're like multiple seeds, sort of like a raspberry shape-ish, or like a blackberry shape to them.
Sure.
And they're dry. They're like a little crunch, but like good chew and a nice fruity flavor. Not Excellent. As tart as a raisin, but not dissimilar. A little like sweeter and milder. So Romeo must die in dried mulberries.
Great.
Did you know that it's what silkworms eat?
I did know that. Yep.
Well, fuck you.
My students sometimes get silkworms and mulberry feed is what they're supposed to give them.
I know everything about silkworms and mulberries. Do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I'm going to recommend Escape from the Bloodkeep, Amber. This is Dimension 20s. So it's a real play, actual play D&D thing. Their Dimension 20 does a whole bunch of different kind of seasons, and a lot of them are these kind of like short. This one's like 6 episodes, and it kind of covers this kind of one story. And it's got, so Brendan Lee Mulligan is the DM, and then you've got Matt Mercer is actually a player on it. Erika Ishii, who's fantastic. Love me some Erika Ishii. Renka Sankar, Ife Nawadaway, Mike Trapp, and Amy Vorpal, I think. Are the players, and it's this like spoof on Lord of the Rings, which took me longer than it should have to get to kind of connect with. But they're the bad guys. They're all playing like the bad guy versions, or the bad guys in this version of the Lord of the Rings, and it's fantastic. Yeah, lots of fun. Right. You can watch it. This is one of the ones they have for free. It's on podcast. You can look it up on their podcast, Dimension 20 podcast, or you can actually watch it it's one of the free seasons they have on their website, Dropout TV. Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Excellent.
Megan, it's been a treat. I will see you back here for Romeo Must Die, and have a good weekend this year.
Wonderful. And I'll just end like I always do by saying she likes rock and roll.
See, again, no, it's nothing. Who is she? And why do I care what she likes? And she doesn't even love it. It's not something she's passionate about. She just likes it. I like apples. I like going for walks. I like talking to you sometimes, but like,
not today.
I don't give a shit about the list of things you like. That doesn't tell me anything about you. So fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck whoever she is.
Okay, yep.
And just fuck rock and roll too. I'm mad at it now. I'm mad. You are hitting it too hard, and now I'm mad at it.
Bye, Amber.
Bye, Megan.